Ready, box. All right, before we get started, I know, I'm skipping ahead. I want to give y'all that heat, that sauce, that flavor of the brand new, hot and ready, like Little Caesars, as soon as it comes out. Now, that doesn't mean I'm still gonna go back and still do all of them in order. Well, obviously not in order, but I'm doing all the ones I haven't done yet. I'm keep up the pace. Eventually we'll catch up. But I don't want to keep you guys waiting because all the YouTubers I like and I enjoy, they always give you the instant one. They give you the rundown of the brand new chapters while you're walking out, while you're reading, and things like that. Sorry, it's a helicopter in the background. Again, they don't know I'm recording. So yeah, that's what's that. I know I move slow, but thank you for being patient with me, sticking with my channel. Also, we have the tournament Super 6 still going on inside the community page. Don't be afraid to vote on that and get your favorite fighter and your favorite team to the finals. All right, y'all. All thank yous out the way. Let's get into it. This chapter is 1484, titled Rainy Season and Naniwa. Alright? Now, I don't want to spoil too much, but we're coming off the Mashiba fight and what happened in that fight. Okay? Check in comments below for what happened, and you don't know yet, I will be putting out the video, so don't fret. Okay, I know I'm moving slow, but I'm still getting it ready for you. The first image we see is raining hard, almost like a little storm, like they had back in LA. That's where I live at. We see two figures running. One is in front running, one is behind, kind of catch up. And one behind is saying, I know there's summer showers and all, but dang, it's going on forever. Seems like it's a national thing. We go down, it reveals to be Hoshi, the greatest Kohai, and he won for Team Nowhere. He won first round for Team Nowhere in the Super 6 Rumble City. Anyway, Hoshi says, I hope it doesn't cause too much trouble. Sorry about that. Sindel snapped back and said, what do you mean? I won't do anything to my weight control. Just because it's raining doesn't mean I can't run, which most boxers do run in the rain. And then Hoshi comes back, I meant all over Japan. This could cause a landslide or something. Quit it with that. That's what Sindel says, blowing them off. But it's foreshadowing to something, a disaster is waiting to come on the way. Also, I want to give a shout out to HNI Scantrab and Good Sir Scanulations in the Discord TinyCC LMGS, because you guys get the scans out, get out immediately, get out quickly, and we love to see it. For the last, I don't know, since I've been reading Ippo, I think it's been mostly you guys. Other times in between, but you guys consistently bring the heat, and I want to give you a thank you, and I'll shout you out as much as I can. I really appreciate y'all. Sindel says, but still, for how long is this going to go on? Walks inside and see the rain is pouring down hard. Said, store's open, but not like we got any customers with this rain. He walks over, says, Grandma, I'm back, as he takes off his running clothes, and they're soaked. He squinches them out. He looks back, hearing a noise. Oi, you in there? And Sindo's cat, I believe it's the one he got from the guiding. I have to look it up still. I don't know the name of the cat, but if you do, put that in the comments. I really appreciate that. The cat jumps out, and Sindo looks on, shocked. He comes inside, and we see the scene. It's his grandmother splayed out on the floor, like she was eating some rice balls, maybe a cup of tea, and it spilled over everywhere. The cat's holding her, and Sindo's looking on, shocked. Sindo says, Grandma, ? No response. You see her image of her. Then you can't see her face, she's back of her head. Sindo looks on, distressed. He begins to yell, what's wrong? Grandma, open your eyes. You're just sleeping, right? Grandma! You see the rain just pouring down. This is the second scene in 2 chapters that the rain has been followed by, has followed a sad scene. One of the main characters. We get back to Kawahara Dream, the gym of Miyata, and he's saying, you want me to go back to Osaka again? His father says, very much so, as I hit the mids. Miyata thinks to himself, he really doesn't have no sparring partners, huh? And his father says, this time, it's not Sindo. Ricardo Martinez asked for you.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out.
Yes, y'all. Ricardo Martinez is back in the story. I didn't think we snapped back into it so quick, but it seems like the next fact we're seeing is the Sindo match, which is crazy. We're going back to back with it. One thing I do like about Ippo is that it keeps the action constantly going. It has its slow moments where, it breathes and shows the slice of lifeness of it, but it keeps the fights coming in and coming out. And maybe that's because, in general, boxing is not as popular as a sport, and as a manga you don't get a lot of chances to do like crazy power-ups or super new forms or like stands and things like that. So maybe keeping the action going and constantly flowing, getting these matchups is what makes it Not the only thing that makes it great, but it's one of the things that does make it great. Because obviously you have the characterization and things like that. And it just kind of reminds me of Berserk, how Berserk, everything was connected and kept going. Except Ippo does give it time to breathe and take fillers and things like that. But lately, these last couple chapters have been nothing but like non-stop going. Plot twists and things of that nature. But Ricardo is back in town. Ricardo. And every time he comes on screen, something's going down. Miyata's father says to him, he gets to Japan the day after tomorrow and he's bringing 2 sparring partners with him. They may not last until the end, until the match. So he wants to work with you in the mix. And Miyata looks up and says, so I'm one of 3. Miyata's father says, you're disappointed? Miyata simply says it's unavoidable as it rains outside. Now, I took this, it took me some time to digest this, but I'm thinking when he says he's one of 3 and it's unavoidable, he's one of the 3 destined people to fight Ricardo. You know, we have Sindel coming up, we have Miyata being pushed forward, and Ippo is like the main character. Eventually they're going to meet up again. So when he says it's unavoidable, maybe it's that the rain coming down, you can't fight nature, you can't fight the battle they're meant to have. Now maybe Ricardo fights all 3 of them. Maybe it goes down that way in the professional ring. But I think when it comes to unavoidable, it's showing Ricardo as a force of nature that cannot be stopped. And he's going to come into contact with Ippo, Miyata, and Sendo very soon. Very soon. Next up, back to Makanoichi, the best boy, as the phone rings. And he has a crazy, I don't know what to call this face, a dog face. He just jumps for the phone. Leads up. Says, yes, this is Makanoichi. How's your big brother's condition? He's still concerned about Mashiba. Again, when videos catch up, you understand. And if you already watched my videos, you know exactly what I mean. He's still concerned about Mashiba and that cold instance he had in the hospital. And then on the other line, it's Miyata of all people with that cat he has and his nice 1-bedroom. And he simply says, no idea. Which, when I first started his YouTube channel, I had this theory that he has a sibling. Thought it was a sister, though. And his mother will pop up for the series is over with. If he has a brother too, I'm like, all right, George, you're going crazy. We get back to Ippo. He says, Miyata-kun? He said, that's right. So Mashiba is still... Miyata doesn't know his condition either. He doesn't know what to say as well. You say back to Ippo. I keep waiting to hear something. Nothing yet. Miyata says, I see. And Ippo says, and you? Miyata says, And then he seems indistinct. Can't make out what he's saying. But then Miyata says, Sendo isn't answering the phone. No one knows what's going on with Sendo. He might rush his grandma to the hospital. He may not be ready to fight. Think back when Ippo's mom fell ill. He retired too before the Psyche match. A similar situation may be going on right now. And Sendo might end up pulling out a little bit just to, one, to expound on the story, and 2, just to show how real life happens in the world of boxing. And also, that boxing is not, even though we're reading the story quickly, it's not a fast sport. It's about, you can have 1 match a year, 3 months between matches, whole season's going down. They condense it, but it's a lot of training going on for a little bit of fights. So I do like it showing that too, because a lot of people are older. It is considered a poor man's sport. You might not get the money you want quickly, and people may get old before you can even take care of them. Realistic aspect of the sport. Ippo asks, has he tried his house? Is his grandmother also not picking up? And then Miyata says his cell. He's always using mine without my permission, so I made him buy his own. He should have known him even when he's out. You haven't heard anything from him either? Ippo says no. Nothing from Sendo-kun, nothing from Kumi-kun, nothing from anyone. Miyata says, I see. And then we get that kind of feeling of just being alone again. This is like one of the loneliest chapters in recent memory, where Ippo just feels kind of like at a crossroads with boxing, and we're seeing the cost of boxing and the toll it takes, not only the fighters, but the ones who support them as well. Miyata says, it's been decided that I'll spar Ricardo. Ippo says, Ricardo? Miyata says, yeah. If possible, I want to throw a bunch of smashes so I can see how he'll react to it. Yes.
Whoop the dog shit out of him.
The strategy that Sendo has was using the smash as almost a feint and hitting Ricardo with it. You saw something similar in the match with Wally when he threw it, where it kind of throws him off balance, and I think they're trying to perfect the perfect version of the smash, and he has Miyata of all people, the king of counters, helping him. He already has his ultimate corkscrew counter, so you already know he's gonna come up with something interesting to do with this smash. I'm looking forward to that. Ippo says, and you wanted to tell Sendo that? And Miyata says, I'm sure the press will tell everyone how the sparring goes. I want to draw it out as much as possible. It's not like I'm trying to be a spy or anything, but we are both Japanese. They do play for the same team. And then Ippo responds, when I spar with him, he was able to adapt to Debsuro after seeing it for the first time. Actually, adapt isn't accurate. He completely demolished Debsuro. I didn't even realize what happened. And those of you who know, that was one of my favorite scenes in Ippo. Like, he just got this ultimate move, just became champion, and the main villain pops up and defeats him with nothing but his left hand. My goodness, talk about aura farming, talk about a power play. It was amazing when he first came down. We snap back to Miyata. The fact he's coming to Japan 2 weeks before the fight, he must want to acclimate to the environment. Ippo says he's doing everything properly. And Miyata says he's night and day compared to last world champion. Ippo says for sure. And it just shows both of them looking up and smiling, having a conversation as friends and just shooting the breeze. But again, we see Ippo happy and enjoying the conversation, while Miyata looks just melancholy, kind of sad, and low-key, like matter of fact, kind of over it. And it kind of shows like, although there's rivalry that Miyata picked out to get friends like Ippo, or to in a way, he picked out the rivalry the best Ippo. But on a deeper level, he wanted to have a friend. But because the rivalry they can't really be friends. And the rivalry really is only in Miyata's head. Because Ippo, although he wants to fight him, he's willing to fight him. He's also cool with never fighting him, just being his friend and talking on the phone, shooting the breeze. But Miyata himself can't let that happen. He's still in his own way. Which also good for story. Listen, I want them to fight. I ain't really challenged them not to fight. Then Miyata says, this has gone on too long. I'm hanging up. Ippo says, wait. Don't you want to hear my Ricardo strategy? Miyata says, I'm hanging up. Ippo says, just hold on. I can get talkative, but only with boxing. That's what Miyata says. I don't want to talk to you about be a friend or the champion or anything like that. Talk about boxing, period. It's business only. And Ippo has a shocked, stunned look on his face. Like, oh yeah, I forgot. We are still rivals. Miyata hangs up and says later. And he thinks to himself, my Ricardo strategy. You make it sound like you're fighting him. He throws the phone and he holds his face, thinking, do you really believe that you separated yourself from boxing? Aren't you still an active boxer? It can seem just Miyata in the bed, kind of torn. I think when he says, aren't you still an active boxer, he wasn't just asking rhetorically to Ippo, but also to himself. Like, why is he waiting around for this guy? Does he even still want to fight? What's he even still doing? Let me move on with my life. There's a panel of Miyata in the previous fights saying his punches look like a sigh and thinking, where do I want to go? Where can I go? And that's his dilemmas. Like, I don't have a rival anymore. I'm just sticking around for what? And we snap back to Ippo holding the phone, melancholy, sad. And he thinks, so with you, there's no way she can separate from boxing. The world's ring out for him that was told to Ippo in the last chapter. Again, we'll get to that. And we just see Womp on the side looking sad, and Ippo himself looking down, the rain falling. This is a tough chapter. Because who are they without boxing? They can't separate from it. They can't leave it alone. They can't leave each other alone. No matter the toll it takes from them or those around them. I think that's really hitting home hard. Which I'm happy this story is doing that. You know, sometimes it can be a little too light or too goofy, but I'm glad it's hitting more serious themes. Because boxing is a tough sport. You know, you can't just... You shouldn't have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wars where you're going through it, because that really takes a toll on your body. And boxing can age you. In one fight, it can age you. We see the outside elements, the rain and everything coming down, and then after that, we see the sun shining through. The sun shining, the airplane arrives. See a glimpse of the airport, steps, and the main man, Ricardo, walks outside, steps down in a black suit. Boy, it's finna be some mess. You see 3 silhouettes in the background. One most likely is his manager, I think Bill. The other 2 are sparring partners, but man, there's gonna be some stuff. He's back in the game, y'all, and he's shutting it down. Hajime and Ippo is popping back off again, starting the year off right. Wow, y'all, what a chapter. What a chapter. I can't call it a banger because it wasn't a lot of fights, but it was very, very heavy. I like seeing the toll it's taken on everyone, not only in the ring, but also outside the ring. And where is Sindel? What's going on with him? I think he's rethinking his fight. I know it kind of goes back and forth, but at the end of the day, his main goal was just to fight against Alfredo Gonzalez, and he beat him. He didn't really care to fight Ricardo until he saw Ricardo break down Billy McCullum with the same way that Ippo broke down Mashiba by making his elbow swerve. So I think now that something bigger is happening and his grandma might be injured, he might take his focus away from the fight. And I do think he might pull out the fight. Like, other characters, actually, now that I'm saying live, I can't see Sindel pulling out the fight. The way he is, I can't. Maybe he might flirt with it for a little bit, make an interesting chapter, but the way Sindel is, fight the strongest man in the world, he's not pulling out the fight. I don't know why I said that. He's not pulling out. But that is going to be on his mind. He might mess up his training for a little bit towards the end, make him shaky. And worst comes to worst, if his grandma does pass it on, he might dedicate the memory of this fight to her. Get his money, keep on fighting. I don't see Sindel retiring anytime soon, even after this fight. Maybe 3, 4 matches, 5, 6 matches after this, he might retire, but I don't see him becoming tomato can either, like Hayami. However, we have seen when it comes to Ricardo, a lot of times people get permanent damage dealing with him. Most main characters we've seen fight him have suffered permanent damage. We don't know what happened to Wally's eye yet, but I'm sure it's lost some type of sight. But he's going to be his zoologist now, so he doesn't need his sight. And Date, we also have Date. That was a massacre. Well, y'all, getting back to dropping more often, playing catch up with y'all. Thank you for being patient with me. Please taking that like button, comment how I did in this video, how can I improve, and please hit the community page. All right, catch you in the next round.